Video live. I hit it every
You
time.
did. Hello.
Are we live?
We're live.
Live? I'm alive.
We are live.
Last I checked. Welcome. We're happy to see you.
Welcome
this
to the
evening.
landing.
The landing. You have landed upon what page?
Page 21?
No, the landing page. That's what we're.
The landing page.
But we're on page 21 of the new book.
Yes, we are.
The new book.
We hope you've had a great week. Our week's been
It's been good.
It's been good. I've been really tired this week.
Yeah.
It's probably the change in the weather and the allergies and all that, but I've been tired.
Yeah.
Yep.
Practicing all that kung fu and stuff keeps you busy, don't it?
There's me out.
Yeah.
Well, we have great news for today. We are no longer on Principle 4. We've graduated.
Graduated? Where's my diploma? Written on the pages of my heart, huh?
Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I've completed.
You've become a man.
Man,
We are on Principle 5. Bobby, would you do the honors?
I will. Principle 5. Voluntarily submit to every change God wants to make in my life and humbly ask Him to remove my character defects. The scriptural truth is, happy are those whose greatest desire is to do what God requires. And humble yourselves before the Lord and He will lift you up. And that's the first one's in Matthew 5:6 and the second one's in James 4:10.
Very good. So we have new stuff that we can unpack for this next couple of weeks.
We do.
Yes, we do.
That's awesome.
Very awesome. Well, the title of today's lesson is
Are you ready?
Ready!
I didn't get to sing the song.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
You sure?
Yep. I'm ready. Ready, Eddie.
I'm ready.
Think of
I'm
SpongeBob.
ready.
Ready.
I'm ready! I thought that too when we read off the name of this.
Eddie, ready. And I guarantee everybody listening is going, I remember that episode.
Okay, so I'm going to read a
What
little
are we
bit.
going to learn today, Hannah?
We're going to learn about being ready.
Being ready?
Yeah.
Eddie.
Uh-huh. Okay, so in our little book here, I'm going to read some.
Handy dandy notebook.
Handy dandy, the landing book.
All right.
First, before we get started, let's take a look at where we've been so far. If you are ready to move on to Principle 5, you have done a lot of work. Some of it was really hard. You faced some of the hurts, hang-ups, and habits in your life and got real about what's wrong and what's right in your life. You started to believe that God has the power to help you change. And in Principle 3, you gave your life to Jesus. Then came Principle 4, which took a long time.
It did. It was a long principle.
But necessary. In Principle 4, you took a good, thorough look at your life, the good and the not so good, and came clean about it. Wow.
I remember that.
I do too.
Yeah.
So let's just stop for a second and think about all that we've come through with God's help over these past few months.
Man, it's been a journey, huh?
It's been a journey. It's been a lot.
Some days good, some days tough. But all days necessary.
Pretty true. Well, here's the deal. Now is not the time to stop moving forward, even though we've made progress. We don't want to stop in our tracks. We want to keep moving. You might look back and think, well, that's pretty good. I think I'll stop here.
Well, we know that there's an enemy always pursuing us, right? And our hurts, habits, and hang-ups are always doing what? They're pursuing us too. I mean, yeah, we get healing from them, but if we stop and do nothing,
they'll catch up to us.
That's right. So what's the only way, if I'm being chased by a
Grizzly bear?
Grizzly bear. That's a good one.
Thank you.
What's the only way he can catch me if I'm faster than he is?
If you're faster than he is?
The only way he can catch me.
If you trip over something?
Well, in doing so, I would be...
You would slow down and stop.
Stop. So don't let it catch you. You got to keep going forward.
That's right.
Keep pressing forward to the mark.
Says you are at the part of this journey when you are ready to see God do some pretty amazing things. That's exciting.
I'm ready.
To summarize what we're getting ready to do, we're ready to let go. Do you remember the scene in Star Wars where Luke is getting ready to blow up the Death Star?
Well, the camera moved. Looks like you blew up the Death Star.
I banged the table.
You did.
I'm all excited about it. Well, what did Obi-Wan Kenobi tell him? That's right. He says, "Let go, Luke."
Let go.
I want you to imagine that God is telling you personally it's time to let go.
It's like when you got all those things and he's wanting you to let go, it's like an anchor. You're trying to catch him, like we were talking. You're trying to keep running, but you got this anchor holding you down.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like you may pull it for a little bit, but then you just get slower and slower.
It gets heavy.
And it's really heavy. And what Obi-Wan was telling Luke is, let go. Well, we got to snip that chain. It's time to let go of those things that anchor us down, that keep us from getting to where we need to be, right?
That's right.
That's right.
I was never a Star Wars person.
Me neither.
Don't stone me for that. But the reference that I think works better for me and non-Star Wars fans would be Elsa in Frozen.
Because if you're not a Star Wars fan, there's only two classes of people in this world. Star Wars, and if you're not a Star Wars fan, you got to be a Frozen fan.
Right.
I mean, that's the way it works. Everybody knows that.
Yep. Well, you know the story. She was tired of, hiding from her true nature and stuff, so she broke out with that very famous song, "Let It Go."
Let it go.
Let it go.
Can't
La, la, la,
hold
la,
me
la,
back
la.
anymore.
Yeah. Let it go. Let it go.
I don't know the rest of the words, but they're cool.
Anyway, she's letting it go. And she feels better. She's freer. She's like, I'm letting it go. Yay.
Yep. And we have a hard time with letting go, don't we?
Yes, we do.
I mean,
Sometimes.
there's a lot of reasons why, though. I mean, some people, it's hard for them to let go because they've identified with that for so long.
Yeah.
Kind of what we would call a familiar spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's part of, we're always looking for an identity, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
That's why people, I might like this hat. I'm going to be a cowboy hat guy. Or you get my point, you got all kinds of things. And it seems like ladies go through it too, probably more so. And, we just got to come to terms with who we are. And let all those other things go.
That's right.
Be who He created us to be. Right?
Right. Well, if something has come to your mind that maybe you should let go, maybe you've written it down in your inventory or in a journal or something that you're fighting, a habit, or maybe some bad friends that pull you in the wrong direction, whatever it is that God has laid on your heart to let go of, start being in prayer over that thing.
Yep.
And asking God to help you let go of it.
Because, like I said, we've made it so much a part of our identity that it may be hard. I mean, I understand. There's a lot of things that, we get known as I'm known as the bow guy. You used to be known as the goat girl, didn't you?
Yes, I had milk goats.
So, and it's part of our identity. And sometimes it's like, what would I be if I didn't have that? I know that sounds far-fetched, but people, that's a lot of people struggle with that. It's like, but all those things they don't identify who you are. They're
Right.
just a part of what you do, what you did, or what you do. So I'm just trying to, kind of come to understanding with that it's okay to be just me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's who God made me to be, is me.
Okay. Would you read 1 Peter 5:7 for us?
I don't even have to read it. I already know it.
Okay.
It says, casting all your cares upon Him, for He cares for you.
That's good. It says, what does this verse say about letting go? What does it say to you about letting go?
Just casting all the things that burden me, that bind me almost. You know what I mean? That I can cast them upon Him, and He'll take them because He cares for me.
Mm-hmm.
And what that tells me is if He cares for me and I need to cast those things upon Him, they're probably not a part of what he wants me to be, or at least not what he wants me to identify as, because what I want to identify as isn't the bow guy, isn't the outdoor dude or the awesome beard guy. No.
You do have awesome.
But he wants me to identify as a child of the King, as forgiven, as free. That's what he wants me to identify as his. So.
Says, on a piece of paper, I'd like you to write down one thing that you would love to let go of. Maybe it's a bad habit that you know life would be better without.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a group of friends that encourage you to do things you know are wrong. Maybe it's a bad temper or a hurt feeling that you've been holding on to. Write it down and then pretend. Okay, you've written it down. Now pretend, crumple it up into a ball. Crumpled up that thing I need to let go.
It's my thing.
Okay, now just throw it into like a basket or a box or something. Did you make it?
I did.
You did?
Right in the wastebasket.
Well, that's awesome. You did it the first try.
That's right.
We don't always do it the first try.
No.
Sometimes we gotta try a few more times.
Yeah.
But the important thing is to keep trying.
That's right. Keep chucking it.
Keep chucking it, because eventually it's gonna go.
That's right.
Okay. When we find things in our lives we are ready to let go of, the best thing to do is, well, to let it go. So let's throw it away.
It's easier said than done sometimes.
It is easier said. And it says if you don't make your first shot, try again and keep trying until you make a basket.
That's right.
Okay. Now, how did it feel to you to throw that away? Did you pretend you wrote something on that piece of paper?
I did.
How did it feel to
Or
throw it away?
I had a thought, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt freeing. It felt like it no longer was a part of me, that I expelled that. You know what I mean? That I evicted its power out of my life.
It's good. Yep. You no longer wanted it, so you cast it aside.
Right. You'd be surprised how little acts like that can mean so much. I've been in a church service one time where we had a trash barrel outside. And we had written down all the things that maybe we were ashamed of, or things that had leached off us for far too long, unforgiveness maybe, and anyway, at the end of service, we all had our piece of paper and we walked outside, and that had a fire lit in it. We throw it all over the fire and let it burn up. But whenever it burn up, where does the smoke go?
Up.
Up. What's represented as up? Who's up?
God.
So we casted all those cares upon him because he cares for us.
That's powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother Terry says that he thinks you missed. You need to try to throw it again.
Well, here, let me see if I can hit him right in the forehead. You ready for this, Terry? Gotcha. That was a good shot, wasn't it?
That was a good shot.
Right in his old forehead.
Well, in Matthew 19:26, Jesus tells us that on our own power, some things are impossible. But with God, all things are possible. What does that tell you about letting go?
That means that I can. That, I can no longer use, I just can't.
Right.
He says, with me, all things are possible.
That's right.
So it's not impossible. With man, it's impossible, but with God,
all things are possible.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. He can help you do some pretty amazing things that you yourself may think that you can't.
Absolutely.
And I'm not just talking about, public speaking or singing in front of people or things like that. But he can help you to forgive the most deepest hurts that you have in your heart. That's way harder than, learning a new, instrument or something like that. Those deep things that we can't do on our own, God can do for us.
Just like we were talking yesterday about offense.
Yep.
Offense is something that we can hide in our heart. There's a lot of people that may not even know they offended you, but that drives a wedge in between them and us. Mm-hmm. You ever had somebody offend you very easily? Mm-hmm. I mean, it seemed like it was an easy offense to us, but they didn't seem to care. Well, it's probably because they didn't know. Have you ever let that offense keep you from really connecting with that person?
Yes.
Or giving them a chance to connect with you? Yep. And they don't even know it. And so that offense drove a wedge or a barrier in between you and them. And God may have a work for you with them. So
that's good.
even something like just being offended, because I think the enemy uses the offenses very strategically.
And sometimes we get offended by people when they haven't even done anything to us, but maybe someone has told us something about them.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know whether that's true or not, but we sometimes carry that in our mind that, oh, I'm not going to talk to her.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I'm not going to let this person get close to me. And that's an offense that's pretty baseless.
We can be even offended by something that nobody even done to us. Mm-hmm. Just the way people may act or the way they may present themselves is offensive to us.
You know what we need to do with those offenses?
What's that?
Let it go.
That's right. We need to cast them upon Him.
Yes.
Because He cares for us. We got to let that stuff go.
Would you like to read our story?
We're already done?
We had a short lesson.
We did have a short lesson.
Still didn't make the 11-minute mark, but...
It's all right. If you just didn't talk so much, you know?
I know.
All right, y'all bow with me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen.
Amen.
Well, I've enjoyed their visit, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's been good.
It has been good.
Yeah, it's great.
Next week, we are on lesson 29, where we are going to continue talking about being ready.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for it?
I'm not yet. I haven't read it, but I will be.
You're supposed to say yes.
Well, I'm not supposed to lie either.
You're not. You're not ready as in prepared. I mean, are you ready to get to it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready.
We're a very analytical bunch in this household.
Well, you guys have a great week.
Love you guys.
For joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Bye.